Welcome back to the Tailosive EV podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Model Y Mike is back due to popular demand. We tried to kick him off. He just jumped right back. How is Mike doing after his road trip?
Mike is sore, tired of being in a vehicle, but happy to be back. How about you guys?
I'm
Missed
also
you.
sore and tired.
Missed you too.
Hi.
Yeah, Nick, you've had a
Hi.
eventful past couple days.
Why, yes.
Haven't you?
Why, yes, I have. It's not behind
quite
me,
a background
and
you
I'm
got.
not holding it, but it's there. SN20,
you have
ladies
quite
and
the
gentlemen.
background. You have quite the I am honored to have you on our show because you now have actual conversations with Elon.
Literally all the time. Him and I just
Multiple.
go back and forth. It's just Elon and Nick chatting up a storm. No.
Rip to the Randy and
That's
Nick
just
show.
wonderful.
Yes, rip to the Randy and Nick show. Elon is going to be the replacement to the Randy on the Randy and Nick show. It's unfortunate,
It's
Randy,
still
but the
called
time
Randy
is.
and Nick. They don't change the name.
It's the
just
Randy,
Elon.
Nick,
Yeah.
and Elon show, but we've got rid of Randy, but it's too important to the brand.
It's like a Rhett and Link. If one of the brand is still Rhett and Link, and it's going
still
to
Rhett and Link.
still be Rhett and Link long after one of them leaves.
Correct. Well, Mike, did you have any opinions or thoughts on the past couple weeks of episodes you wanted to weigh in on? We've covered a lot. I wanted to give you a chance to make your piece if there was any objections you had or points you thought
He
we were
texted
missing.
me to just verify some stuff that I was like, if Mike was here, maybe he would know. So he verified some stuff.
I was going to
Oh,
say,
cool.
you assume that I listen to these while driving across the whole entire United States and back.
What else
with a whole
would
bunch
one
of people
listen
in the
Yes, I
truck.
do.
Yeah, actually.
Listen to music, listen to people try to sing music.
Oh,
listen to.
so you've heard Randy's latest album? Cool.
I have not still. I still have not heard it. I've heard his previous albums when I was going over the Rockies, which also scariest place ever because
Oh.
there's no guardrails, and you're at
Guardrails?
like
What are
11,000
those?
feet.
You just gotta stay on the
Jeez.
road. It's super easy. It's barely an inconvenience.
It's for like the animals, I guess. I'm not too sure. No, I commented, or I didn't really comment. I just messaged Randy, I think, saying in regards to the
Trips.
was it? Yeah, like being able to like text your buddies, hey, we're going to like McDonald's or wherever. And then the Tesla already knowing that you're going to McDonald's or In-N-Out or whatever you guys were talking about. You can already technically do that, I think, is if like I think on iMessage, if you say like, let's meet at 7 p.m., it kind of underlines it saying, oh, an event at 7 p.m. And you can click on that. It adds to your calendar. I'm pretty sure if that calendar is connected to your Tesla, you're good to go. Because already with my calendar, I put stuff on and then I go and it's like, oh, you've got a meeting at 7 p.m. or whatever at this location. It's like,
Whoa.
I didn't expect to have this in here, but okay, cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
That's amazing.
I think it already
I didn't know that.
exists as long as like your either calendar through iCloud or whatever email client that you're using to connect to your Tesla is connected.
Yeah.
I think you can still do that.
Okay.
So it exists, is I guess what I'm saying. It's not a feature that they have to technically add, but it would be nice if there's a smoother approach.
Yeah, if you could do the how CarPlay just kind of does it because it talks to your phone directly because it is your phone. If that's, I'm not saying bring CarPlay to Tesla, they'll bring CarPlay to. What I'm saying is that having it if the moment Bluetooth talks to the phone and everything's already paired, then if it can already do the calendar stuff, because it does ask you right when you pair it, do you want to sync your calendar, your contacts, and all that stuff. You have everything set up with, and even messages, because it'll read messages for you. I know it's a security thing for it to not try to do context reading, but if it could just take a step further, that if I get a text message and it just says, hey, change your plans, we're going to meet at Chuck E. Cheese, then it just reroutes it to Chuck E.
How
Cheese.
did you guess my favorite
they-
restaurant, Randy?
Huh?
How did you guess
I'm
my
so sick of
favorite
Chuck E. Cheese.
You guessed my favorite restaurant. It's crazy.
I just lucky guess.
If it's contextually on car processing and it's not a person checking the text, couldn't it figure out the context just like iOS does of, oh, they're heading to this direction? So it wouldn't be a person actually reading your texts. It would just be the car looking for locations and keeping those ready for maps within the time specified. I feel like there's a way to do that privately without, because none of that data would be passed on to Tesla or a person. It would just the same thing as iOS. Apple doesn't look at your texts and say, "Oh, he wants to meet at this place." It underlines it because it picks up. That's probably a date. That's probably a location.
But maybe
It knows.
Tesla will be looking at my photos now.
Safe enough for the next show.
Gotcha.
We'll get there.
Tracking.
But did Mike have any opinions on the supercharging subject?
Very important.
Of opening it up to everyone, basically.
And I think I'm in agreement with still kind of like what Nick initially stated, which was just open it up to companies that only make electric cars, and then it'll just drive more companies to doing that. I'm not too fond of what the President of the United States said recently with adding hybrids to the mix of
That
producing
made me
all
mad.
those. I was kind of just like, why are we adding in hybrids? Like, I think I made a comment
The hybrids
on...
have combustion engines.
They have no
So-
business at our stations.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I think I mentioned it on Twitter when Drew was talking on Twitter. I think I mentioned saying, "Oh yeah, my Silverado 3500 gets 10 miles per charge," and it's a hybrid or whatever. Just like
it has a plug-in hybrid option, therefore it's an EV.
That's terrible.
yeah.
Already,
Did you guys catch up with the EV summit or whatever that was going on?
No.
It seemed very pointless to me considering they didn't have Tesla there, but I guess some people were saying obviously it doesn't matter, it doesn't really impact Tesla or anything, but it does reflect the public persona and the government's opinion on Tesla. I guess they're not trying to push Tesla to go electric. There's nothing to push them on. They don't
How
need to go to 50%.
can we get Tesla to be more electric? Got no
So
clue.
I guess maybe that was why they weren't invited, but when the news anchors and stuff were asking why Tesla wasn't invited, they were just trying to brush it off, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know. Don't talk about that. Let's not bring it up."
They didn't come.
So it feels
Okay.
a little weird. Tesla's the majority of EVs sold. It's over 50%, so it's kind of awkward to not acknowledge them or bring them up.
The
at all.
representatives are just like, Tesla? Tesla who? Never heard of him.
Tesla who?
Some
Governor
people
who?
were theorizing it was because Elon Musk would have stolen the show, or Tesla would have stolen the show
Y'all
if they were there
think?
and make all the other EV brands look bad.
sucks to suck.
They should have just brought the Cybertruck. Just been like, "Hey, how's it going?"
That would have made it far more interesting. I would have actually paid attention to the event if they brought the Cybertruck.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's too bad.
I will say, on my travels across the United States, I was pleasantly surprised. At one point, we were driving through Wyoming, almost dead east of Casper, Wyoming, and we were going through a bunch of these little towns on this highway that, of course, like was probably made to connect these little towns. Probably had some ancestral roots in it. And I look over to my left while we're going through this tiny little town. Like, we've been through like 3 of them. Nothing really there, like maybe a gas station and then maybe some houses. And I see some white arches with some red accents on them. And I look, I'm like, oh, hey, superchargers. All the way out here in the middle of nowhere in Lusk, Wyoming. You can
That's
look it up.
wonderful.
It's middle of nowhere. The road goes on forever. We took it all the way up to like Minnesota, basically, through South Dakota and all that.
Did you guys stop
And-
there?
We didn't stop in. So I guess to preface, we didn't drive in a Tesla. We drove in the Ram 1500 because
What?
we
You had to
initially-
drive with your hands, Mike? How did you even do
so
this?
let me comment on that then. Going for what was it,
How was
5,000?
no autopilot?
No, yeah, 5,416 miles or something
Whoa.
like that, of just hands on the wheel, staring at the roads and managing to be in between the lanes. My
Nick
goodness.
says this as he lives out of his.
How do
SUV.
you all do it? It was terrible. It definitely, yeah, near the end of the trip when we were driving back on I-5.
Senioritis.
Oh my goodness, yeah, basically. Driving back on I-5, my wife was just like, I think I'm going to reconsider full self-driving. I'm like,
Ooh.
Really? She's like, it would have been really nice on this trip. I'm like, it would have been
Wow.
great. Because all our driving was like highway driving. There was little to none city driving, which of course makes sense on a road trip. But
Well, autopilot would cover the majority of that, though, right?
oh yeah, I mean cruise control was kind of the best friend for a lot of the time in the Ram 1500, but you still have to, still with autopilot, like you still have to kind of manage it between the lanes until it goes on navigate on autopilot or the full self-driving mode where you can kind of just let the steering wheel do its thing. But
So why exactly did you have to take the Ram?
thanks for coming back to that point. Yeah, so we originally wanted to take the Model Y. It was going to be fun. It was going to be great. But then we started thinking
My first
about...
question, what the hell?
Uh,
Come on.
I was looking at all the things we needed to bring. So we looked at the fact that we're taking 5 people, so it's like, okay, the car's going to be full. Is that going to be comfortable for my nephew and niece who are growing adults in the back, along with my buddy who's the same age as me, sitting in the back of Model Y with a sunroof on, like the sun beating on them all day? I guess we have air conditioning, of course, but I don't think that's going to be comfortable space-wise. Along with that, they've got stuff that they're bringing, so they've got bags.
Right.
And then along with that, we have to bring our clothes. And on top of that, we've got camping gear like tents and mats and a whole bunch of other stuff like that, cooking ware. And then we also, what was the other thing? Oh, ice chests. We had 2 ice chests. So trying to fit 2 ice chests in there, it wouldn't be possible unless, like, I don't know, we had a trailer on it, but we don't have a trailer for it besides, like, a kayak trailer. So
And the trailer wouldn't work with autopilot anyway, right?
it wouldn't work without a pilot. I mean, you can maybe do cruise control. So it would just be the same situation.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd have the same issue.
So we ended up going with the Ram, in which it was a nice testing case for it, just seeing how it goes. And also kind of, or not kind of, it did make us think about the Cybertruck almost every single time we're on the road. Of like, this is how it's going to feel driving a Cybertruck on the road, because the Ram's about the same dimensions, but it's just not sleek and cybernetic. But
Cybernetic.
So you think this trip could have been done with the Cybertruck?
we think so.
Just on vault space.
On vault space, it would have been fantastic. We had to buy a tonneau cover, or we wanted to buy a tonneau cover for this trip. We got it, and of course, like with a typical P-shaped truck, it kind of just sits flat with the trunk. What's nice about the Cybertruck is it's inclined, and so you can fit more space in the back. You're not even going to be looking through that glass pane that you usually look through in a regular truck. So there would be nothing lost, really. There would only be gain. And even in range, I think the Cybertruck, the tri-motor, goes further than a Ram 1500 in just sheer distance that it can go per
That's
charge
cool.
/ per refueling. So
Might be a lot lower when it's loaded up, though.
it would be, but another thing
The
that's nice
Cybertruck?
about it, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The range would be lower if the bed was full of stuff.
Yeah, but the same happens with any gas car as well. It's going to
Oh, yeah.
decrease. Like, that's even something that Ford kind of revealed with their truck is with a, was it, I forget how much payload, like max payload of
1,000.
1,000 pounds. They want to aim for 300 miles. So that's, I think, already better than ours. Maybe, I think, no, maybe it was around the same range. I'm not too sure. We drove everywhere. But yeah,
Yeah, you
every
did.
single time we're on the road, we're like, the Cybertruck would handle this easily. The only caveat would be we'd have to be waiting at a supercharger, which is something that
True.
might tick off the passengers. Just like, oh, we have to wait here for like 40 minutes or 30 minutes.
If I may, Mike, one reason why I did not take my my Tesla out to rural spots, I went to a funeral, and it was a 7-hour commute just in distance alone. And I was talking with Brittany. We Like we had to go drive up to a major city to pick up my brother. He was flying into the airport, so we're gonna just pick him up and then drive. And I was mentally preparing to take the Model 3 for like up until like the day before. And then she pulls me to the side and she's like, "Hey, listen, as much as I appreciate the autopilot and all that stuff, I don't want to take the Tesla." And I was like, "That? Why?" And she's like, "Because
How dare you?
we are gonna go there, stay for one day, get on the road the following day. We have such a quick turnaround. I have to be back by this time. I have work at this time. The last thing I want to think about or stress about is adding an additional hour to the already 7-hour just distance to supercharge every time we need to stop, and that's going to be at least 2 stops. So we'd be adding about a 9-hour commute, maybe 10, and I don't want to deal with that. We're going to have our dog with us. We're going to have now my brother with us, and it's good. We're going to be driving through windy roads." And so she was like, "I don't want to deal with charging stations." And that's if we find a supercharging station, especially if we just find some, oh god, I don't even want to think
EVgo.
about. Yeah, I don't want to think about that. But so
Could be there for
I
hours.
noticed that to be quite an issue. Then I brought up to her, and I was like, "Well, if we get the Cybertruck and we were to do the same commute, we would be sitting a lot longer to charge the battery if we were to use this, assuming the charging stations are what they are right now when that comes out." And she goes, "Yeah, I know, and that's the now we have to make a decision when you start pushing what you would consider a road trip." And I think anything over 5 hours for us is like, yep, that's a road trip. If we have to really push it, and no chance of us making it turn around and coming back same day, road trip. And road trips now become problematic for EVs, at least for us, for our EV, because you run the risk. You said you saw a charging station randomly, which is cool, but there are a risk depending on which route you take where you might not hit that, or you get range anxiety, especially if you're not if you have to drive. Tesla recommends 60 miles per hour for it to reach your destination. It's like, oh, but speed limit's 70 or 80 because
Yeah,
you're
where I was
driving
driving,
down
it was
the
80.
strip. Huh?
Yeah, where I was driving, it was all 80 everywhere.
Yeah,
up
man.
there.
And they're like, well, but stay at 60 or below if you want to reach your destination. I get so tired of seeing that prompt when I was coming cross country, where I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna crash, or I'm gonna the battery's gonna die. So all that to say that road trips right now seem to be a hesitating factor in our household because of this. I don't want to stop all the time and charge. I don't want to panic if we don't have a supercharging station to stop at. And what we found in our experience, most charging stations across the country, they don't. I don't know if people think that's like, oh, you're going to go to like a mall or you're going to be like in this packed city. Sometimes it's right off the side of the highway at some dinky hotel motel thing, and it's very sketchy, but that's all you have, and you have to sit there in your car, lock the windows, and be like, okay, come on. So it's sometimes it's just not worth the stop, which is weird, but
Yeah, commenting on that though, the wife was really excited after this road trip to take the Y on a road trip soon. We saw so many different places. We went through, I think, 11. No, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, about 11 different states that we drove through.
Wow.
Saw 46 different license plates from the
gotta
United
get
States.
those numbers up.
Yeah, almost saw all 50
are
states
rookie
in terms of license plates.
That's crazy.
And she said going through like Utah or Wyoming would be beautiful in a Model 3 or Model Y. And I believe it. I definitely want to do it soon. And looking at the supercharger network right now, it looks very possible. But yeah, like you said, Randy, you definitely have to consider time as one of those variables. Like the road trip that I did, we gave ourselves 13 days to do it, and it was 6 days to get up to Minnesota and 5 days to get back. and we were getting up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. every day to pack up everything, get in the truck, go. Get to the next destination around like 7 or 8 p.m., settle down, get some food, get some food in us, go to bed, rinse and repeat. Maybe 1 or 2 days we got to actually settle down and just enjoy the place that we're at.
Sure.
So definitely couldn't have been done with the Cybertruck in the time frame that we gave ourselves. Or we would have to see less or drive more. So...
Especially because from the photos that you were sharing and just the recap, which, by the way, everybody, Mike had like the coolest stories for the last couple of weeks. I had so much fun watching them. The Cybertruck looks like it would be able to handle, because from what I gathered, you took the vehicle pretty off the road to set up camp.
In some places, yeah. We had to go off the beaten path. Not like what you saw with the Rivians on Instagram or
Right.
Twitter that RJ was doing, which I drove by that place. Except it was like an hour
Moab?
south of me. Yeah, Moab. Man, that place is... Everything in that area, like not even being near Moab, like being an hour out of Moab, everything's beautiful. The rocks are fantastic. But yeah,
it is.
there was a lot of places
Gorgeous.
where the Ram was definitely not put to the test, but at least like it would have been tough with the Model Y. It would have been a little bit like, maybe let's just stop on the side of the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, besides that, got to see a whole bunch of car carriers go north on I-5, and every single one that I saw had 2 Model S's on it.
Ooh.
Whoa.
At least 2 Model S's, and then filled with Model S's and X's. So they're trying to get them out as quick as possible.
You mean?
Yes, my bad. 3s and Ys.
It's like
I still got a road trip
the
on the
X
brain.
deliveries are about to start, confirmed from Model Y.
I do say though, the parking lot where they load up the trucks in Fremont is sparse right now. There is a whole bunch of shipping trucks waiting for Teslas to be loaded onto them. Fremont is definitely... I disagree with you a little bit on demand or supply constraint, I guess. Demand is high right now and supplies are low because it's getting close to like levels of early pandemic in terms of how many cars are in that lot right now ready to go and be delivered. It's scary.
Yeah, the delivery estimates are way out now for the S and X. I think I'm checking right now. It's saying March or April, and that's with another $5,000 price hike. So the Model S starts at $90,000 now, and the Model X starts at $100,000.
Yep.
So
might as well just wait for a Cybertruck.
I'm worried
It's
about the
just getting
Cybertruck.
crazier and crazier.
Hey, that's my line, Randy. You owe me royalties now.
Hi, Nick. Man,
Hey.
hang on. Wait. Yep, you have more dynamic range on your body than me.
Dynamic range, is that what we're calling it? There's a lovely reason for that, and it's been so much fun. But hey, I did want to mention on the range thing, Mr. Model Y Mike himself was telling us about the road trip that he just did, and I was just talking to a friend down here at Starbase who was road tripping from Florida in a Model 3, and it was a standard range Model 3, and it took him a long time to get here. It took him an extra 12 hours of driving, of supercharging, just to get here. And I was like, oh, so like that turned your day and a half trip into like a 3-day trip? And so, yeah, I didn't realize that. That's pretty important. you don't
Yeah,
want
And
to
it's a bit interesting how little difference the long range versus standard range can make, especially on the trips website that Mike was just talking about. They have the different range options you can choose from, and I did one big road trip. Normally in a gas vehicle would take us about 14 hours to get to my parents' place, and the difference between long range and standard range was like 1 hour on that trip.
Wow.
It's like it all comes down to the charging speed. It's like you got to stop a bit more regularly with standard range, but in my opinion the difference between those battery options isn't necessarily just to make better time. It really doesn't make that much of a difference in road trip time. A better argument would be longevity.
Yes,
with
sir.
battery degradation. That's a good reason, I would say. But with lithium iron phosphate, if they are able to get those types of batteries in the U.S., it'll probably make less of a difference because those have a really high cycle life. So as long as 200 is good for you now, it'll probably still be well over 200 for many, many years to come. But we don't have that here yet. I hope we do.
Yeah.
So, y'all getting a Model X anytime soon?
That'd be nice.
The question is, anyone getting a Model X anytime soon?
Don't.
Don't.
$100,000.
Just don't.
I mean, it sure is a Swiss Army knife of Teslas. It's got everything.
At that
But
point,
Also,
just
the
get
$100,000
truck.
price point. So literally, it has everything.
Yikes.
If you want the interior luxuries, get the S. If you want the space, get the truck. Either way, you'll save money.
the
I
X
think
is
Model
definitely.
X has a.
I was gonna say it's
Go ahead.
definitely the Fabergé egg at this point. Like it is that decorative thing that you see on someone's counter. You're like, ooh, that's nice.
Don't touch
and
it.
It does cool maybe things like maybe it comes apart like a Russian doll and all that and looks fantastic. But what is the serving? Yeah, like
That's
I'm
happening
not too
in my
sure
bank
what's-
account if I buy one of those things.
yeah. I just don't know what market it is anymore besides luxury SUV buyers.
I think there's definitely a accessibility argument. I know a lot of people in wheelchairs that prefer Model X because of the auto presenting stuff. That makes it a lot easier for them to get inside and maintain, and when you're not as abled as others are. So I know a lot of people that want to keep it around just for that, and I know a ton of people that like the Falcon doors. Some people don't, but it's definitely the smallest market they're catering to out of all the
Very,
vehicles
very,
they sell.
Which kind of shows
I'm
you.
not in favor of getting rid of it, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in favor of getting rid of it either, but I just goes to show you how little SpaceX, Tesla. What show are we doing? Tesla, the other Elon Musk company. Oh wow, that was a Freudian slip there. Shows you how much Tesla is focused on that market. You know, it's not a huge market to begin with, and they're not shipping anything, and they're raising the price. It's almost like they don't want you to buy a Model X. They'd much rather have you buy a Model Y or maybe 2 Model Ys. You know.
I don't know. I think the X and S are still kind of serving their original purpose. I think they're intentionally taking a very huge margin on them, and I don't think they'd be raising the price if they weren't getting a ton of orders. Like, I think the delivery windows are really pushed out, and the price keeps going up, probably because they know they can't keep up with the demand, and they're selling every single one that they can make. So I think that while the X may not serve a really in-demand market, it's probably providing a lot of healthy profit margins that Tesla can use towards other things. And as much as they appreciate you to buy a Model Y, the estimated delivery window for that is pushed out. It's almost sold out for the entire year.
Wait,
and that's
what?
at $54,000. Yeah, Model Y right now, long range. If you ordered today, estimated delivery is December.
What? No
That's
way.
probably going to
Wow.
change in a week or so. I bet in a week or so it's going to say January, February.
Wow.
So
this
they
is
have-
like
and
production ramp bad.
I think it's we'd say it's production ramp, but we look at estimated deliveries and they're higher than they've ever been. It's
Yeah.
literally never been this high, and the margins are still really healthy. They had an incredible quarter for profitability,
Yes,
even
they
minus
did.
the EV credits they turned a profit. So I don't think it's necessarily I believe that there is supply problems, but I don't think that's the main reason that the price is going up. I think it's a combination of everything, but demand is certainly huge right now, and as long as deliveries are growing and getting this high, then they're making it work.
I
And
have a theory. The more vehicles come to the EV market, the better Tesla looks. The Ford is so bad.
Wow.
The Volt is so bad
Mach-E's selling okay.
I didn't say Mach-E.
The Ford.
Mach-E's cool. I'm not gonna lie, especially when
what do
you guys
mean by
showed
the
me it in
Ford?
person. I was like, "Ooh, that's cool."
The Ford
but-
Focus Electric is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think the more we see other legacy automobile makers come with their thing, a Leaf, a Volt, a whatever, the more people go, yeah, okay, I'm gonna get the Model Y. Like I think just looking at the stats alone, if you're a people like I gotta make the right logical decision, then there you go. And when you go off of how you feel, you're like, that's a sexy looking vehicle. It's in the lineup. It's the sexy lineup. When you look at the network that you're utilizing that's accessible, I mean, I was talking about how there should be more, but be that as it may, way more than anybody else. So everything about the infrastructure that has already been established, that's still growing, but it's been established. The more we see more automobile makers coming out with their thing, whether it's press announcements or things that are just coming out, Volkswagen, all these guys, the more people go, well, Tesla. And I think it's driving the sell. I think competition is healthy in the sense that it's really healthy for Tesla, where people are like, oh, this is what we're working with. When we said other automobile makers, I was hoping to, be more competitive. But until we get the Aptera, the Rivian, until we get all these other full-fledged EV companies going, if this is what we're working with, it's just going to drive the sell for Tesla that much better. That's my theory.
Yeah, I've got a friend
that's
who's
a good theory.
I've got a friend who's in that exact spot. She wants to buy a Tesla, or yeah, she does, and she's got one on order, and she's not going to get until December. A standard range plus Model 3. And she's thinking, well, I looked at everything. I even looked at a Ford Fusion, which is cheap. But then I just bounced back to the Tesla. And so then she has one on order, but it's going to take forever to get, and she needs a car now.
Yeah.
And so what she's thinking is maybe just getting the Ford Fusion, leasing it, or for something like that. Maybe, I don't know what she's going to do. And then when the Tesla comes out and she is ready to switch to it, she will. But if she's fine with the Ford Fusion, then she'll just sell the Model 3. Because already, if you're looking at a used Model 3, it costs $10,000 to $20,000 more just because of full self-driving that Tesla tax on. And she can sell this one for a premium because it's a new one. So even in any case, the Tesla looks better.
Yeah. And I wish that we could use our old car market mentality of, well, Tesla's so expensive, let's just find a used one. That doesn't apply here.
No.
Doesn't work. Because if you go in the used market, they're selling for more than they were new a lot of the time. Like, I have never once found, and I look pretty regularly, I've never once found a standard range Model Y selling for less than what it costs new. All the standard range Model Ys cost like $50,000 or more.
Is that outside the Tesla website?
Oh yeah, I'm looking everywhere. I'm not. Tesla's website's a joke. They basically just take all their trade-ins, add full self-driving, and then charge $5,000 more than it would cost new.
I agree.
So it's like, it's not even worth looking at. I'm looking at Edmunds or use the Craigslist or whatever. Just look at anything out there, and there's no way to get even. It's hard to find standard range plus Model 3s that are cheaper than new from Tesla's website. Even those are selling for higher.
Man, I wish I was in the market to sell my Model 3 because this is great news.
Turn a profit. Yeah,
Well, here's the biggest
would.
fear for me, Randy. If either of us crash our Teslas, it's going to be so long until we get a new Tesla.
You're right. I have a
very
story
true.
I haven't told anybody, and another reason why I think I'm going to be on the hook of having to drive my Tesla for road trips. It's vehicle related. I'll talk about it. We are driving through the mountains. I am at this point. I think I'm in Kentucky, and I see an off ramp, or what I thought was an off ramp. Cool. I'm a pull over. It's midnight. I gotta pee. and I thought it was a rest station. As I turned the mountain corner and come down, I'm like, hey, an off-ramp. I got to go to the bathroom. I take this off-ramp only to then the high beams illuminate this big old sign that says runaway trailer. And I go, ho, crap. Boom, boom, boom. And I hit all these rocks. Everybody in the cabin is asleep. And
not anymore.
Oh no.
They wake up to me going, oh crap! And then Brittany, what's going? My brother, wait, what's going? And I'm like, the captain in the Hudson Bay, brace for impact. Boom, 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 and I just dirt, rock, flying. I'm like, oh, this whole thing's going, and I look over to the right just slightly just to see a rail that had I tried not to hit the runaway trailer spot with all the gravel, that I would have gone over the rail and we would have gone off the mountain. And
jeez.
Yeah. So after my big, butt chewing, which some would say I'm still getting it today, I said, it's like, well, we do the gravel or we go off the rail and that be that. Rocks are still kicking up underneath, and thank God it's just an old Yaris that's just, it's meant to be the beater.
Thank goodness.
Thank God, even though Brittany is peed off with me, she is not happy. We talk about, she goes, one, you're not driving my car anymore. Darn. Two.
Oh well.
Two, she's like, your Tesla. Like, let's see if you'd be all this happy, like, thank God we're okay. Let's see how you feel like that. If all that got underneath the car of the Tesla's, like, I mean, my car would probably be damaged. She goes, yeah, think. And then three, she goes, this is why I don't like you driving, because the Tesla would have known not to do that, and it would have just kept driving because it would have been driving itself. But we entertained the idea of what would happen if that was the Tesla. I'm like, I think I would be screwed, because thank goodness that it was the Yaris, and it's still, I mean, dude, besides pebbles, like rocks this big were underneath, because it's meant to stop 18-wheelers, not tiny little 12-inch wheels. Dude, rocks this big underneath her car, to this day that when you drive slow, the car's going nails to the chalkboard. I think the Model 3 would have been screwed. So then the conversation goes, well, what would you do if the Model 3 was, in shop or something happened to it? I'd maybe get another. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And to your point, Mike, I don't have a fail-safe. I don't have a backup plan. I don't have a nothing. And evidently, the way I drive, I'm a high liability now because I had to pee. Really, all because you had to pee. You almost killed us. Everybody from Kika to everybody was mad at me.
Kika's like,
Kika
I was
so mad.
I was dreaming about beautiful green lawns that I can pee on. And you woke me up.
And instead I got gravel the size of a football thrown everywhere.
Of me.
The size of me.
Yeah, the only contingency plan I'd see, Randy, for us is ordering a car right now, just in case.
It's only $100. Could just cancel if your car's fine, but then at least you have something ready.
I can confidently tell you that there is no way I would go back. I would stick with the Tesla line. Whatever happens, if something, God forbid, something happens to the Model 3, if my Phoenix does not reborn itself and it's no longer a Phoenix and I have to get something new, it's another Tesla. I am embedded with it. The only difference is I'll just get the FSD subscription at that point, but you have a customer for life. I am the Apple equivalent as a Tesla customer. I'm in and I accept it, and I hope if or when that day comes, if one of us, or even if one of you guys, or if any of our listeners, anybody gets a Tesla, and the time comes where it's like, oh, something's wrong with it. I hope that we are in a point where Tesla is just, it's constantly right. Because even if you order it new, like I got mine in a week, and so now I have an expectation to get things in a week. So that is my hope we get to that point again. One could hope.
Yeah, I think if you wanted the dual motor long range like you have right now, and you hadn't ordered one yet, it says it'll take till November.
Whoa. 2021 or 2022?
So we're back to months. This year.
Oh man, I figured I'd ask. This is Elon time. We're worried about here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I honestly, I think I'd get the Model Y if something happened this time around.
Really?
I wouldn't wrap it. Everything about the vehicle, I would treat the vehicle differently. Because the Model 3 has always been the dream car. It's part of my identity. I love it, and if I have to let that go, the next one will become more of a lifestyle purpose, not a play thing. I bought that car before I got married, just to put that also into perspective. That was the very last thing I did as a single man. And like under a month later, I got married, and then Brittany was like, "Okay, now we do things together." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." But that was the very last thing. It's symbolic to my like, this was Randy at his peak before he, what's the word? Before I leveled up. So this time around, now that I've leveled up, I wouldn't go backwards. I would get the Model Y. I would get probably long range again, but I would probably get the same color Mike has, and I would just be Mike 2.0, but worse.
We just have the same cars at this point, Randy.
Huh?
Except Mike would have got his for cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We would have the same cars though, because we're just in the same circumstance. You'd have a Y, I'd have a Y. Your wife wants a Cybertruck, my wife wants a Cybertruck. Then we get Cybertrucks. Then what do we do?
It's true.
It's like I'm the weird Walmart knockoff brand of something.
I mean, so here's one thing though. You'll have bioweapon defense mode, which is something that I wanted day one on my Y, and I will never have.
That, huh?
Thank God for that.
Though they still
for
don't.
a retrofit.
There's never gonna be a retrofit for that. They already told me.
I heard there might be.
Okay, well they told me that it's too small and it's gonna put too much strain on the old system.
Oh. Okay.
But one interesting thing is that they still haven't ported over the side panel wood thing on the Model Y yet. Looking at the configurator,
No.
the Model 3 has it, but the Model Y doesn't on the door.
The 3 has it.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Well, they're different doors, so
Well, yeah.
I guess that makes sense. But yeah, it's interesting they haven't got. I'm guessing it's just because Model Y demand is through the roof. They don't even have time to slow it down to
That's fair.
retrofit the doors. Maybe Model 3 was just a little bit lower order volume, so they were like, okay, let's swap
I feel
it out.
personally attacked.
If you drive a Tesla, you're almost guaranteed to get offered free lunch or free something. Everyone's so chill around here.
Yeah.
Nick,
That's
what would
cool.
you
Yes, sir.
do if your Tesla crashed?
Easy. It wouldn't, because it's a Cybertruck, and Cybertrucks physically cannot crash.
That's the right answer.
What if a super heavy booster crashes on it?
And they'll have to use a Cybertruck to pull it out.
You have to consider that where
Also,
you are.
I was wondering if I was going to be getting pieces of super heavy booster, where am I living? Because that's kind of the ocean. Gotcha.
If I've seen a Starship not quite make the landing, so I know the steel's not indestructible. Therefore, if a semi-truck hauling 3 Raptors on the back and the guy was texting, so he wasn't paying attention, and then he just rammed into the Cybertruck, I think there's a way to total it still.
It just melted.
It gets a Raptor embedded into it.
You're right about the side doors. I was just looking at it right now. Huh.
Really weird.
Is Model Y going to get those updates to the side doors?
I'm not too sure. I
I
had
assume so. I guess they will. They just haven't got around to it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's the typical China gets it first for some reason, and then America just takes a while to finally integrate it. Even though it's all internal Tesla stuff.
Well,
Because China's layout is better. Have you seen the footage they released of Giga Shanghai on the inside and how much robots are building everything? It's really cool. But
I've seen the schematic. I haven't seen it physically, but like
I'll find the video.
Top down.
It's really interesting.
It's set up really well for vehicle production for Tesla, at least.
And probably updates too. They can ramp up production real quick. They're basically at the same annual production capacity as Fremont now. At least at the shareholder deck, they said it's over 450,000 capacity, which Fremont is listed at 500,000, I think. So they're neck and neck at this point, and I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. So Ray4 Tesla tweeted it out, as did Sawyer Merritt. So it's just
Giga Texas is going to be the one that competes with everybody. That's
No,
gonna
right.
be the one.
Starbase Texas.
That's
I'm really excited for Texas. I think
All the
way
cool
too
things
much
are
about-
happening in Texas, right, Nick?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very, very
How
much
far
so.
are you from the Giga Texas, Nick?
I have no idea. If it's in Austin, though, I'm about 7 hours away from Austin proper.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
And it's on the south side of Austin, too, so you're really close to it then.
I mean, I wouldn't use that word to describe that meaning, but yes, very close.
Hey, in California
Close enough.
language, an hour away is pretty close.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is
I'm
LA
an hour
traffic,
away
so,
from
you
San
know.
Fran. And I'm in the Bay Area.
You could be an hour away from something 10 miles away.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's California in a nutshell. I think way too much about what Model Ys are coming out of Texas first and how they coexist with the Fremont Model Ys. Like, there's so many ways they can do it. I just stay up late at night
It
speculating.
lives rent-free in your head.
It does. It's very much house hacking my brain with how much I think about, like, how are they going to do both? And when Texas ramps up, what does Fremont do then? I
Yeah.
don't know. But there's a lot of cool ways it can go. So I'm excited for Texas. Even before the Cybertruck comes out, I'm excited for Texas. I'm like, it's just going to be two factories in one country, and one is going to have 4680s, which are amazing. So I'm pumped.
Yeah.
But speaking of things we should be pumped for, did you guys catch the Easter egg tweet from Dennis about AI Day?
Oh, did I? I don't know if I did. I don't
Dennis,
think
I
so.
glanced over it.
He's a robotics mechanical engineer.
Oh,
This
that
guy
breed.
had access to AI Day stuff, and he signed an NDA. He disclosed that. That there's, and within the invites they sent out, they mentioned that they were going to showcase what their AI has potential for outside of their vehicle fleet. So it's more than just, I guess, vehicle artificial intelligence. So I've seen a lot of speculation. There's a ton of people out there thinking Tesla's getting into some kind of heavy robotics market with artificial intelligence, and I'm just trying to see people put the pieces together, and it's leaving me very confused.
I got
don't
the
know
answer.
I was like, why
Snake
is Dennis
charger.
involved?
Snake Charger's coming.
Finally, artificial
I
intelligence.
did see
to
the
make
Doc Ock
connector
thing.
Go.
Don't follow me.
Yeah, that's been out for a long time, and Elon did say that was coming, but
It's finally
Power of the
arriving.
sun in the palm of my hand.
I can charge
It's
4
definitely-
Teslas at the same time.
I'm just trying to imagine what artificial intelligence is needed for, basically a robotic arm that plugs into a port. We needed super advanced AI to do this.
Sometimes engineering is like that. It's just a whole lot of work just to make a thing go. "Wah."
There's legit a lot of people thinking that they're going to be making more advanced manufacturing robots. Some people even think humanoid robots, which I think is too
Boston
far. but-
Dynamics, just go that route.
It's just funny to me when there's so many people that are like, this is exactly what this guy specializes in, and he's signed NDAs, and he's going to be at AI Day, and he's leaking stuff, and it's like, what are they doing? I don't get it. I don't understand.
This feels like the
happen.
introduction to a Marvel movie where we're about to see the supervillain's origin story.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
Dr.
humanoid
Octopus.
robots.
Doc Ock.
I see.
Could you see it be a robotics for manufacturing thing?
Yeah.
I don't know if they don't get that snake charger going.
I want the snake charger. Even without robo-taxis, the snake charger would be incredible.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't want to pull up the
And
supercharger?
scary
and
at the
have
same
it?
time.
Exactly.
Maybe this is the snake charger rollout for all the superchargers.
It's going to be
Sounds
an awkward
nice.
time, too, because it won't be compatible with a lot of different cars. Connectors.
Take that,
Sounds
hybrids.
familiar. Sounds familiar, Mr. Hybrids.
Yeah.
They should have the snake charger have like a flip around connector, so it has the Tesla on one side, and then it switches over to CCS for the non-Teslas.
That's
Or
actually not
that's
a bad
just
idea.
loss.
That's actually
If
a
you're
good
a
idea.
non-Tesla, you gotta plug it in yourself. But if you're a Tesla, the snake arm will plug
People in
There
Jersey
you go.
or Washington or Oregon, something like that, I mean, they've been used to not pumping their own anything anyway, so
in. That's true.
that this
Stay
would
in the
just
car.
make those guys happy.
Randy, you don't pump electricity. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You can't use your own electricity. We gotta protect the environment. That's interesting. I think I don't know if I'm expecting AI Day to be whelming.
Oh, just
My
one.
big hope is no timelines. That's all I'm crossing my fingers for.
Good luck with that.
I'm sure there's progress, and I'm sure they're recruiting people, and I'm sure there's a bunch of growth they've made, and they're going to say, Beta 9 is stupid, but Beta 10 is way better. But Beta 11 is way... And then when we get to Beta 10, they'll say, oh, Beta 10 is stupid, and we were dumb for making it, but Beta 11 is way smarter and way better. It's just going to always be this moving goalpost of, like, it's better than it's ever been, which I'm fine with, because it's an honorable route to go after, and I think it's a good thing for Tesla to try to make vehicles more autonomous and safer, because humans suck at driving, but I just don't want to hear robo-taxis end of next year again.
Only Randy
That's all
sucks
I'm
at
afraid
driving,
of.
as I found out. Yeah,
You're by far not the worst.
I'm terrible, evidently.
I've seen much worse.
Yeah, I agree, though.
Even semi-truck drivers on our drives through the country. I've seen semi-truck drivers making really, really bad mistakes.
Oh my God,
that scare
Drew!
me.
I'm in a area like my location reminds me a lot of your area, and if that is an example of like what if you're dealing with what I see here, I would fear for my life the way these semi-truck drivers drive on these 2-lane roads. These guys drive like they like I want to die, and they just the way they cut people off, and they don't even they put the blinker on, but then they really don't, and just cut over to cut something off. And I'm like, dude, you're the semi. You can't just do that to that poor
You're the
little
semi.
Fiesta.
You're
No.
held to a higher standard. How come some of the what are they called? The bolts on the tires are really long and sharp on some of the semi trucks, and I don't understand how that's legal. They're huge.
Yeah.
They're like Ben-Hur looking spokes on there. They're like,
Well-
if that hits the little Ford Focus, it's gonna like the motorcycle in The Last Crusade. It's gonna flip over.
Wow.
Like that's gonna go through a door. It's like a giant sharp spear that's spinning at probably thousands of
Like
rotations
we're
per
the
minute.
problem, not the one that's
Yeah.
cutting off.
And I'm
I just don't get how
fairly
those things are legal.
I'm fairly certain that's still prototype territory. So like,
Ugh.
who knows?
Yeah.
That's why I was so excited for the Tesla Semi. I was like, we need more semis with autopilot as soon as possible, because I see way too many semi-truck drivers that just slide over the lanes, the lane lines, and they're not paying attention, and they're just like, oh,
Yeah.
whoops, whatever, and they're swishing
And if it's
everywhere.
windy,
They're
it's
huge.
even more aggressive.
Oh yeah, I'm nervous by how often. Just a couple weeks ago, there was someone in a car crash that died because there was a semi-truck driver that wasn't paying attention, and there was a stop. For some reason, there's a stoplight in the middle of this highway, and you're supposed to, pay attention, obviously. But the semi-truck just plowed through like 4 cars at the intersection,
wow.
and I believe a couple people died. And I was just like, yeah, that just happens. And we don't do anything. We're just like, yeah, that sucks. Anyway,
2-day delivery.
Your package has been delayed, and then we just keep going.
Oh, just tell them that you lost it at that point.
It blows my mind how much risk we put up with in the driving world, especially with the big trucks. So I was heartbroken deep when I found out the semi was delayed, because I don't think when they said delayed to 2022 they meant January. I think it's going to be at best end of year, Q4. And
if you don't give us a date in only a year, I assume the worst, that's at the end of the year.
Yeah.
If you say November 2020 or November 2019, I assume end of November.
Mm-hmm. And that's why when Lucid said second half of 2021, I assumed December 31st at 11:59.
That's right.
That's still what I'm going with.
Yeah.
I'm concerned with Lucid,
the Cybertruck?
how often they're promoting their stock. No, not Lucid Cybertruck. I don't know why I'd be concerned about that.
No, but you were concerned, so the autofill.
They have Project Gravity. I want to see Lucid make a pickup truck.
Ooh.
That sounds funny.
That would be interesting.
Just imagine Gravity with a bed.
It would just be a GMC. The GMC
Literally.
Pretty much. But no, Lucid was actually paying to promote their tweets on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was showing up. It said, like, we're so
Promoted.
happy we're public, and it said promoted. And I was like, what are you guys doing? I don't get it. Why is the stock the product? Is that what we're supposed to be excited for? Like,
That's what it's turning into.
it feels more and more. I'm losing my hope in them. I was excited at the beginning of the year, and ever since they keep pushing back delays and pushing guidance, and now they're promoting their own tweets, and they made a big deal about the stock changing into their own name instead of Churchill Capital. It's like, that's great, guys. Where's the car? I'm not hopeful for them at this point.
It's really concerning.
I don't know what the direction is.
No, I really hope they finally kick it out. Or maybe, I don't know,
Me too.
something kicks them forward. I mean, heck, Tesla made a whole refresh of Model S's, and they're delivering right now.
Yeah,
they're not the same range that the Lucid Air Grand Touring, I believe, has. But, I mean, at least it's real. You can see it on trucks going northbound. You see it on YouTube videos everywhere. You see Marquez reviewing it, along with Doug DeMuro and everyone else. So it's in people's hands. It would just be nice if there was something to compare it to. And also something to add to the EV collection that isn't just a faded attempt at an EV, or at least just more of, I guess we'll comply with government sanctions or laws, and we'll make the GMC Hummer EV, or
sorry, no range.
50% hybrids in 10 years.
Oh,
Wow, don't say that.
But part of me does wonder when they say that one of their versions goes 517 miles per charge. I'm like, that's without a structural pack, with a drag coefficient not as good as the Plaid Model S, and it's 2170 cells. And with the weight of the battery pack, we know it's over 100 kilowatt hours. Is it really feasible to assume they can hit over 500 miles on the EPA? Or is this starting to sound like too much wishful thinking on their part?
I'm sorry, you cut out. Who was that directed to?
Everyone.
Wishful thinking.
Good.
Mike, Randy's saying you don't think it's possible for them to hit that high? You think they're overestimating themselves?
I think it's a stretch.
Yeah.
At this point, if nothing is out yet, like, it would have been nice to, I guess what I'm getting at is, if they finally release the launch edition Lucid Air, we can finally see how the numbers that they've been reporting on their website compare to the actual product. Then we can speculate what the Grand Touring does in terms of max range. But we don't.
We don't have a starting point. We don't have a reference point.
We don't have any reference point.
Yeah.
And with kind of what the behavior that you've been describing, Drew, with how they're paying for promoted ads on Twitter for going public.
About the stock.
It's definitely getting into Trevor Milton territory of just focusing on numbers.
Wow.
In the stock market. It's sad. It's really sad. Lucid definitely, like Rivian, which they could have come out on top. They could have come out with their product and just dazzled people, added more fuel to the fire against Tesla. Those who just hate Tesla so much they'll go for anything else. And you could have had so much excitement over an EV that's not a Tesla, but instead we're still playing the waiting game. And it's becoming very depressing of when is this Lucid Air coming out? Like, when am I going to be able to talk to Alexa in my car?
Soon.
That's what we all need. Jeffrey Bezos.
You have a pretty sky there, Nick. I like the clouds.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We got the internet connections biting us in the butt. So
no, I wasn't
like
being facetious. I like looking at the clouds above your head.
Well,
yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, my arms are just beautiful. I'm really glad that you are finally admitting that, Randy. It means a lot to me. For all of these who are wondering, I'm sure 10 people have already commented, "Oh, Nick looks so depressed. What's wrong with Nick? Nick needs to leave the show because Nick's depressed." No, I'm tired. I literally didn't sleep last night, so I've been up since yesterday morning, and that morning I only got 1.5 hours of sleep. And the morning before that, it was like 3 hours of sleep. And the morning before that, it was like 3 hours of sleep. And the morning before that, I literally didn't sleep. So
Nick
I've
is
been
running
tired.
on fumes.
I'm tired,
Literally.
guys.
Nick is
and
doing the
we're
Lord
making this
Trunks.
show. We're making this show happen because I love this show, and also I love Starbase. So that's also what's going on.
Nick, have you been drinking?
Yeah.
You sound
no.
a little tipsy.
No, I'm tired. Oh, are my
I guess it's the same thing.
Are my AirPods messing up? That's the internet. It's
No.
been terrible.
No.
It's not the AirPod.
You're for all you on the podcast.
So this
that's
is
probably
what's
what I just
going
sounded like
on
right now.
over here. We're just Starbase, just looking around.
Here, I do want
Is
to
there a
add.
super-
I can't win
Supercharger
for
out there?
losing. Yeah, there's a supercharger in Brownsville. The supercharger is
cool.
8 stalls, but there are only 4 lines there: A, B, C, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2C.
Gotcha. Okay.
And those are always full. Like they're
Yeah.
it's pretty packed down here with Teslas. Definitely at the Stargate building at Starbase, there are a bunch of destination chargers. I'd say probably 20 destination chargers that are pretty much always being used. And so anyway, between that, the destination chargers, wall outlets, and then the supercharger in town, there seems to be enough to get all of the Teslas around here by, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm looking in the area. It says there's only 2 available, or no, not even 2 available.
Right now?
Just 2 superchargers there.
I
Wow.
guarantee you that there are 8. I can send you a picture.
The
that I
other
took
6
of it
are
a
out
while
of
ago.
service.
I guess there were most
Maybe 6 are full.
unless they either built them or got rid of them like a week and a half in the last week and a half. Yeah,
It's possible.
No.
At the rate you guys are moving down there, you guys are going to have a whole fleet of charging stations by the time
Actually,
this
that's
episode
nice.
goes live.
We want that.
I hope they can get the charging rate. Elon said that they're going to upgrade superchargers to 300 kilowatts. I wasn't sure if he meant new stations or if that includes V3, but the higher the charging speed, the quicker the miles will be. So being able to do your road trip like you did in your Ram will become more and more feasible the higher those speeds get, but
Yeah.
all at the cost of preserving battery health, of course.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Don't break it.
Hey, Nick, I got a question for you. It's not EV related, but it's Elon related. Have you seen his little block modular home there?
Not on this show.
No comment?
Unfortunately, no.
He's just seen him.
It's just him.
It's
Why
a
do
lot
I need to
less
see his
exciting.
little tiny home when I could just
Yeah.
see the man himself?
I'm not a creep. But him and I, we go back on Twitter all of 2 weeks ago. We're just the best buds. So,
What's interesting is he's responding to you and you're not tagging him. He's just tracking
I
you.
know that's kind of the weird thing. Like
Probably because you're getting some good photos.
That is what I was thinking. I was just
Bro.
thinking he loves his Starship so much.
Good job
that-
on everything you're doing.
Yeah,
I'm
well done.
So
Thank you.
serious,
Excellent
Nick. You're
shot.
doing such a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate
Mhm.
it. It's been lots of fun. Kind of scary, to be honest, but lots of fun still. And man, what a blessing to be down here and having Elon approve of what I'm doing. So
Well, yeah, if he responds to you, that's an endorsement. He's like, keep up the good work. Like you're taking some good photos. He's like, oh, they're coming. I'm like, oh my god. Now he just knows you by name. That's guys.
only a
We're in
matter
the
of
presence of a
time.
celebrity who knows a celebrity.
It's only a matter of time before he gives you a Cybertruck, Nick.
I know that's what I'm working towards. I don't care about anything else. I'm just working towards a Cybertruck here. No,
I noticed you're on a EV podcast. You mind if I come on? Oh my god, he's listening to our show.
He's on.
Just
You
joking
never
about
know.
the 2 weeks,
It is
Elon.
out
Just
there on the
joking. We
internet.
love you.
wow.
I definitely think it was a smart theory someone was floating out there that part of the reason they wanted the Cybertruck to be made of the same steel as Starship is because if they can get the Cybertruck selling at high volume, that will lower the overall cost of the steel, so that mass-producing Starships become cheaper because the material is being used
Yep.
by Tesla and SpaceX.
You're
at
buying it in bulk.
really, really high volume.
Yeah.
So
That's dope.
if the Cybertruck wasn't made of steel, the Starships would be more expensive. So
Mhm.
there's a tiny bit of a collaboration going on there, and I like it.
Almost like
like the way they
SpaceX
think.
and
Assuming it's
Tesla
tempered.
are owned by the same person. Mr. Tim Cook.
That's
Nah.
crazy.
Yeah, this is
One
also
person-
assuming they're tempered the same way, both steels. In which I don't know if that's
No.
been confirmed yet because Tesla's keeping the wraps on what type of stainless steel they're using, like what the carbon content is, I believe.
You said it was
30X.
304. Oh, 30X? I thought he said 304X.
On the website, it says X, as
Okay.
in
Yeah,
they haven't nailed it in yet.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 is 4.
So
Is it 4 or 40%? No, 4%.
it appears to be made of some kind of metal.
Ooh. Good observation.
floor
I was
seems
So
actually
that's what
thinking,
we know.
I was thinking
floor seems to be made
crystalline
out of
structure
floor.
of iron atoms,
It's
Either
it's
way,
all
should be
BCC
extremely
or
durable.
FCC or HCP. Sorry, material scientist friends, I forgot all the terms. Those are
I would like the bottom of the Cybertruck to be made of heat shield tiles.
You don't
Why?
make
Re-enter the atmosphere.
Those things are so fragile. Oh my
they're
goodness.
so fragile.
They're like
They're gonna
aerogel
break.
if
Well,
you've
how
ever
else
seen
is
that.
the Cybertruck? How are we going to get through the atmosphere?
You
It
know,
goes in the Starship.
there are some thrusters that come out of the wheels. I'm not really supposed to tell you about this, but Elon and I were talking about this late last night. But I'll share
There's a
this
plan.
here. You can't share this around. But the Cybertruck's wheels are going to pivot down 90 degrees, just like you see in Back to the Future. And there are thrusters that are inside the hubcaps of the wheels
I see.
that
Are they cold gas or hot gas?
It's actually an
Medium
ion
gas.
thruster, so it would be electric based. Yeah. So it obviously Tesla's electric. So yeah.
Ion thruster makes sense.
It's powered by krypton gas, which is really good because krypton is a lot cheaper and easier to produce than xenon. So that's a win for the environment and a win for Tesla as well.
Okay.
Totally
Fair
kidding,
enough.
guys.
That'll work.
Very well.
Cybertruck will do well on other planets, I think.
Literally. Oh my goodness. All
Hopefully.
I
Can
want
load up the bed with oxygen.
all I want
As long
to
as it
see
serves as
is
a
a
good pressure
Cybertruck
vessel.
going to Mars. That's all I want to
Sharp
see.
angles. Sorry, Nick.
No, go ahead. I think we
I was
got
going to say sharp
inlet
angles
issues.
aren't good for pressure vessels. You want something that can take the hoop stress and all the other stresses that are exerted on the vehicle.
Yeah.
So we want Model X.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's curved.
Or an earlier version of the Model S.
I mean, they already use Model X's to take astronauts to the pad. So you're already
So
like
why
one
not
step closer.
take them off the ship on Mars?
Why not
There you
just
go.
take
It's not
them?
that big a stretch.
Just all Model
It's basically
X's.
the same thing.
Drive and then it just goes and then goes. I'll be like, what kind of drugs am I on? That is an acid.
Wow.
Same ones that
Although
Nick's
the
on.
active noise cancellation won't have to work very hard.
Why?
You'll need to
That won't
boost
do,
audio.
That won't do much.
The noise
Yeah.
cancellation. The sounds
And
are
then if you go to
deafening.
the Tesla Easter egg section and activate the Mars mode, it will be accurate.
No, it won't.
When you
You'll
activate
be
the
put on-
Mars mode, it will show you a map of Earth.
What?
It'd be funny to see how the GPS in a vehicle would work if it was
It wouldn't
on
know.
another planet. It's just like,
It doesn't.
I don't know where I am.
It doesn't even know when you put it on Mars mode. It just kind of puts you immediately in one location. I think where the Curiosity rover landed or something like that. And then
So as long as you land there, it's accurate.
just land on the Curiosity rover. The JPL
No,
won't
the
care.
Curiosity rover moved.
What's the worst that could happen?
Hey, Elon shouldn't be so against solar on his electric vehicles because Curiosity is completely solar powered. So
Yeah, this is true.
Curiosity's a golf cart.
Ow!
Yeah,
wow!
but it's
Wow! Wow! Wow!
electric
Wow! Wow! It's an
and
electric golf
solar.
cart. Yeah, you need to start there. And number 2, yeah, it's solar. Number 3 is doing amazing
how long
work.
did it last?
It's still here, or not here. It's still.
It's still
it's
going.
right here.
So why do we need this? Why are we so against solar? It works on other planets. I think it could work on this one.
No. It doesn't work on solar. It works on an RTG.
No, it has a
Oh.
supercharger up there.
In a way,
Where does
yeah.
it get its electricity from?
Radioactive isotopes.
Oh.
Let's get that on Earth.
It is on Earth. It's caused many problems.
Oh well.
Have you seen?
I just know it has solar panels.
Does it? I guess it has some.
It does.
I know that Spirit and Opportunity were mainly solar powered.
Mm-hmm. You can do it. I'm rooting for you, Aptera. You're not going to get your vehicles out by the end of this year, but I'm rooting for you. you need.
That
you
doesn't
need to
mean you
update
can't
your
get 'em
website,
out.
Though.
Just keep trying.
You'll get them out. I'm just going to go ahead and assume end of next year. That's probably a safe bet, but I love the design, and I'm rooting for you. As long as they hit 100 watt hours per mile, they can do it. I believe in them. That's the trick.
For more of a
don't think-
vanity purpose, I'm just rooting for them because I want a San Diego startup to be successful.
That would be cool too.
Just
Yeah,
so,
they're in
just
an
so we can
interesting
have
spot.
some clout. Yeah, 619. Woot woot.
Home of the Aptera, where it all started.
I think
Right
news
there in La
too.
Jolla, looking over the sunset. I mean, they take cool photos and stuff like that, but when the time comes for it, I just want them. I mean, we talked about. I think we did it when last episode Mike was here. I would just rather they. If it takes till the end of 2022, then by God, that's what you need to do to make it right. Just have it successful. Don't rush it. Be right.
Take your time, but make it happen.
Yeah, be right. Don't be quick.
Exactly.
If you can be right and
sure.
quick, then be right and quick. But if you can only, if it's binary, then be right. Don't be quick.
Mm-hmm. Man, every time I see that, he uploaded another video yesterday with Chris, and I was like, oh man, this is so cool. It looks so amazing. I love seeing the Soul one. I thought I liked the all black one, but then I saw Soul and I
Noir.
was like, Noir, that's what it was. My wife still prefers Noir, but Soul has got this cool little stormtrooper look to it that I dig. It's the white and the black contrast really well. Now they're working on Luna.
Part of the rebel elites. Stormtroopers.
Yeah. 100 watt hours per mile. That's all they need.
That's
they
all
can
they
do
need.
it.
Didn't they
Come on.
update the site?
They said they were going to. They showed a video of what it's about to look like, and then they just tweeted that in a couple days they're going to update the site and also launch their own dedicated merch.
Hey,
Finally, I want
Official-
a green shirt.
like a
So
flamethrower.
Aptera products will be sold. Telosive won't have merch, but Aptera
No.
will.
All of the merch, though. Available on teespring.com before they
It's
sell out.
Tailosive or bust for me.
Ooh.
That was the last call. That was the only merch he was interested in. Anyway, closing thoughts, gents.
I would say Nick is doing the Lord's work down there. Good job. Keep it up. Tell Elon we said hi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Elon, did you want to come on the show? Oh, what did you? No. Oh,
the new
Randy's
outro.
mean to you on Twitter. Oh, Randy, you need to stop being mean to him on Twitter. I told him to
nice
stop. All right,
Thanks,
he's
I wish I had
I
a
just imagine Mary Boca Chica Gal is just looking at Nick right now like, what is he?
I am using her umbrella. Thank you, Mary, for letting me use your umbrella.
That's very nice of Mary.
This has fixed everything. This is why I'm able to record here instead of, because I've always wanted to record
The whole
here.
NSF team is just like,
They're all back there. No, they're actually hiding in the air conditioner right now. Like I should
Das
be,
Valdez
because it's
is
a
just like,
million degrees. Oh boy. All
well
right.
said.
My closing thought is I wish I had a Rivian on the road trip. It would have been perfect. We wouldn't have to like
Ooh.
A Rivian.
store all of the cookware in the bed. We could have just had
Yes.
it underneath our
Oh.
seats and then used
Right.
the 4 feet of
That's right.
bed that we had for whatever else. Would have been nice.
Nice.
Interesting
Yeah, that
you
would
said
have been nice.
Rivian and not Cybertruck.
I know. I'm a little mad at
It'd be
you,
nice
Mike.
to have the Cybertruck, but the Rivian's coming out hopefully before it. Unless
Por
they
qué no
slow
dos?
it
Yeah, I
down.
hope. I'm losing faith in them too by the day. It's been next month for 5 months. It's making me nervous.
It's making me worried about the Rivian.
Hey, Rivian should beat Lucid. How about that?
There we go.
Rivian will be
I'll be
Lucid.
excited for that. You think they will?
Yeah.
You trust RJ?
I trust RJ more than Peter.
Ooh,
Sorry, Peter.
shade is.
If you're listening to the podcast, I'm sorry, Peter, but you're losing. I'm losing faith in you.
Yeah, I think I do too. I've seen Rivians not promoting their tweets on Twitter, so instant favoritism from my end.
Instant like.
Instant. I am going to like this non-promoted tweet. If the tweet's promoted, I will instantly block the account.
I will
Thank you all for
report it.
watching. Reported. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Come on our show, Elon. Take care. Bye bye.